Hello, my name is Flippin' Marks, and welcome to another exclusive interview here on Kayfabe News. As you will have seen, I interviewed Colt Cabana, the hut horse, or whatever the hell his name was, by the end of that a couple of days ago, and I would implore you to watch that now. But today, I am joined by someone who considers himself the premier interviewer on planet Earth. I've got your name as Chris Van... Chris, what's your last name?
It's Chris Van Vliet. It's thanks for having me on. It's nice to see you did your research for this.
Well, I went on again. I tell everybody all I do before I do my interviews. I just pop on Wikipedia, and I saw your name, and I was like, I can't pronounce that. It looks like it's Phillet, Chris Van Phillet.
Close enough, sure. Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. Well, look, Chris, I want to talk. I am now an interviewer extraordinaire. I've only done 2 interviews in my life. One with that liar Mick Foley, and the other with the crazed Colt Cabana. So you're my third. So don't get too above your station. But of course, you do interviews. So as somebody that's trying to break into that field, just a couple of questions. One, how would you? Not me, obviously, because I'm great. But how would you? What's that?
What? Oh, sorry. I couldn't hear you over the polish of my Emmy award.
Are you cleaning your awards?
Well, yeah, they don't clean themselves.
And that's a good point, because I've won awards. I'm an award-winning journalist that has won awards. I don't have them here.
Really?
Right now.
Oh, well, congrats, I guess.
Thanks.
But yeah, I've actually won 4 Emmy Awards for my work as a broadcaster and a journalist. And yeah, it's the toughest thing about being an Emmy Award winner, as you wouldn't know, but the toughest thing about it is you have to clean them all the time. And man, and with everything going on in the world with the coronavirus, I have to clean it myself now.
Well, you have a shunned life, I would say. But let's get to the big questions. Let's get to the important questions. You've interviewed a lot of people in your years doing this. I don't want to know who the best is. I don't care about that. Who is the worst person you have ever interviewed?
It's an interesting question. I get asked this a lot because, I've interviewed people all across the spectrum of all kinds of different people. And for the most part, people are realizing they're on camera. This is going to be out there for the world to see, and they're putting on a good face. And usually they're kind and they're nice. But I did this interview with, and he calls himself a wrestler. I guess he's just like a guy who makes YouTube videos, though. Simon Miller. Have you heard of him?
Yeah, he gets on our show sometimes. It's just on my teleprompter. I don't know.
He's terrible. And he does this slapping of the head thing. And he's always asking, why? I was asking myself the same question when I had to do this interview with him. I'm like, why do people care about you?
Yeah. Why did you have him on? What was wrong with you that day?
Great. That's a good question. Why? Why? I kept asking myself that. Why?
Exactly.
And he thinks he's a wrestler now. That's the craziest thing about this.
He's nobody. He's nothing. He's a bum.
It's ridiculous. And it's actually embarrassing that someone like that thinks that they can climb into the ring and take wrestling moves. Like I saw this other video on YouTube where this guy climbed into the ring and took some chops to the chest from these other. Oh, that was me.
Wait. You've taken chops from wrestlers?
Yeah, Sean Spears and Tyler Breeze. They chopped me 20 times.
Why did you let them do that? Why didn't you stand up for yourself? Why didn't you fight back, Chris Van Vliet?
I tried, but Sean Spears is a very large and very mean man. And I only thought it would be 1 chop. And the next thing you know, I took 20 chops and my chest turned into a sloppy Joe.
I don't know what that is, but look, does that tell me?
You don't know what sloppy Joe is?
Well, to me, it must be a guy called Joe who doesn't really have his stuff together. That to me is sloppy Joe.
What are you going to tell me you've never had an In-N-Out burger?
I don't know what you're talking about now. Look, Chris, I don't want to get, rude on this show, but the term In-N-Out is reserved for one thing and one thing only, and I don't believe we want to talk about that right now. Personally, not for me. That's for behind closed doors. Look, the thing
I know what you're talking about.
I know you've interviewed a lot of wrestlers. I don't care about that. I want to talk about actual celebrities, real people that actually other people know. Who is the who do you consider the proudest person you've interviewed so far? And I want it to be a good name. Don't give me some name that make me go, "What are you talking about?" Like Sloppy Joe. If your answer is Sloppy Joe, I'm stopping this interview right now.
I'm blown away that you don't know what a Sloppy Joe is and that you don't know what In-N-Out is. This is
stop the potty mouth, Chris. Stop with the potty mouth. It's enough. Tell me.
Don't make me go back to shining my Emmy up.
You do whatever you want with that Emmy. I don't care.
I'd say that the most interesting person that I've interviewed, is The Rock. And I guess he covers both, wrestling and being a proper celebrity. But the thing about The Rock is, you see him in these photos. He's this huge guy, this huge intimidating guy. When he actually walks into the room, I don't know if there's padding there, or I don't know what it is, but I don't think he's much bigger than me.
Wait. Are you telling me that The Rock is not, 275 pounds of muscle, but is in fact a smaller version of himself that wears pads under his clothes
and lifts in his shoes too? The Rock's like 5'9", maybe 5'10", $170 at best.
And you're sure about this? What evidence do you have to back it up?
I've interviewed The Rock 9 times, not that I'm counting or anything, so I think I would know. But Hollywood, they do all these kinds of tricks. I know that you had Mick Foley on telling you about how Hell in the Cell was all CGI. I mean, we never would have figured that out. But Hollywood is able to pull these amazing tricks out. Jason Momoa, another great example. You'd think he's like 6'6" and almost 250. He's actually 5'6" and like 130 pounds.
Something I'm taking away from all this, when you say that you've interviewed these people, is it actually that you stand in the mirror looking at yourself dressed up and then interview that person? Because all these people seem to have very similar dimensions to you when you happen to interview them.
Wow.
I'm just asking the questions that I need to ask. You're trying to tell me that Jason Momoa is a 5'6" nothing man and The Rock is nothing but padding. These are things that we need to question and need to follow down on. And in my excellent opinion, you are steering me down the wrong path.
Jason Momoa actually wears a wig. So right before the interview, he puts a wig on. You might know something about that. He actually puts a wig on so that he can have that look that all the ladies love.
No, that's not true at all. That is not true at all. Nobody in their right mind would stick. I tell you why, because I'm flipping marks and it's my show and you've come on my show and you will obey my rules. Nobody just puts a wig on their head and then pretends to be somebody else. It's not normal. It's not right. It doesn't happen.
I agree with you that it is completely ridiculous to think that someone would put a wig on and be on camera and act something out and think that they're being something that they're not. But it happens.
It does happen. Tell me, do you have a problem with other people doing, because there's a lot of people doing wrestling interviews these days. So there's competition there for you. How are you going about trying to shut their channels down, stop other people being interviewed by them? Obviously, I'm now a rival to you too. Let's face it, I intend to do lots of these interviews. How are you going to stop this wave of domination that is about to hit you square in the face?
Well, I don't. That's very kind of you to say that. And congratulations on your little channel. That's really cute. I actually spend a lot of my day not only doing research for these interviews and trying to book these interviews, but I spend a lot of my day actually flagging other interviews on YouTube and trying to get them taken down. I file copyright claims all day long in the hopes that if I have done an interview with someone like John Moxley, I'm hoping it's the only interview with John Moxley on YouTube. So the second they go up, I have alerts actually on my phone. I will flag the interview. And, because I have all the subscribers that I have, I mean, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I have a lot of subscribers. YouTube takes me a lot more seriously and will, boom, take down the claims.
No, this is good work. This is good work. Sabotage. I like sabotage. I've been a fan of sabotage. It is.
Would you rather watch an interview that I do, or would you rather watch an interview like someone like you does?
Look, I didn't know who you were before 9 minutes and 4 seconds ago, so I'm playing catch up here. You mentioned John Moxley, obviously a star in the wrestling world right now. But what I want to know is, I chatted to Colt Cabana a few days ago. Like I said, what do you think of him? What's your true opinion of Colt Cabana?
I think Colt Cabana is actually the best wrestler in the world right now. And he calls it comedy wrestling. That's actually what wrestling should be all about right now. And I think that there needs to be more of that style of wrestling out there. And I think we need to have more Colt Cabanas.
Okay, right. So you're a kiss ass too. It's good to know. It's good to know how you spend your days. I chatted to Colt Cabana and I would call him he was an interesting chap. He was an interesting chap. He had some very strange ideas about Japan. I don't want to get into it. It was tough enough then. Chris Van Vliet, I am told.
You said it right. Wow.
I know. I listen. I learn. You told me how to say it, so I said it, for goodness sake. I have been well informed that you do have a YouTube channel. I'm going to assume that it's your name, knowing what I do know of you now, and that people should go there and watch your wrestling interviews, correct?
This is absolutely correct. In fact, just hold on 1 second here. Hold on.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You don't just walk out from the camera. You said you've been doing this for years. You have no professionalism, Chris Van.
Oh, yeah. So it's actually right here. There we go. There's where you can subscribe to my channel right there. Do you have one of You don't have one of these, do you?
Did you make yourself some kind of statue to celebrate going past 100,000 subscribers?
Yeah, that was so like back in the day when I only had 100,000 subscribers. Oh man.
Well, how many do you have now?
A 250,000. I mean, it's not a ton, but it's more than you.
All right. Our people are looking into that. Is that true? Okay. Well, your plaque is wrong. Chris Van Vliet, thank you very much for your time. If you are subscribed to his channel, unsubscribe and come subscribe to mine. That's it.
Thanks.
That's all I've got. That's all I've got.
Thanks
Very much. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to Kayfabe News. Flippin' Marks, signing out.